can mention a person's name that we heard that's a very prominent person that directed a film about the pandemic. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now receiving death threats, going into hiding. I mean, this is just crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And people are just trying to expose the truth, but they, quote unquote, they can't have that. Who is the they, do you think? Is it big pharma? Is it this global reset industrial? I mean, who is this? It's behind the scenes, just calling the shots to destroy the lives of you and film directors and doctors. Who is this they? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, they go after you. I mean, that's one thing that they never expected, is that I don't think they expected the everyday person in America to just stand up and say, you know what, come at me, come at me. But I do think it's the top, it's the elite, it's the Bill Gates, it's the big pharma, it's the big government, I'm sorry, but it's the left wing of the government on that, if you look around, where all these high death rates were, and death counts and lockdowns and people losing their jobs, it's all Democratic states for the majority.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, who's funding them? And gosh forbid, you're a conservative in this world right now, you're getting censored and canceled and, it's clear. I mean, it should be clear to people looking out right now what's really going on and where to stand if you want to stand on the right side of history.
Listen,
it's definitely not there.
We all know nurses and doctors, and it doesn't matter how much you get paid. You work your butt off to try to get people healthy and to save their lives, and you really give a flying flip about your patients. Did you hear Cuomo when he says, "Who cares how many people died, whether they died this way?" When I heard that, I was like so repulsed. And I'm also thinking of like all the professionals like yourself that watch these deaths occur unnecessarily. And this guy's saying, who cares? Everybody cares that's in your profession. Cares, even if it's one death. Do they not?
No, they don't care.
They do not care.
They needed the count up, like they knowingly killed people. And just to see I don't know, it's just disgusting. Yes, I watched it. The definition of a psychopath, if he just thinks like, oh, who cares? We care. The people care, and their families definitely care. And, all of us that have had to go through this and know what was going on, we care too.
There was just today, a 16-page decision by the Supreme Court of New York. They withheld public disclosures of the numbers, but that they benefited financially from each and every one of those deaths. It's really about the money. I mean, they were pumping elderly into these elder care facilities with known COVID. I mean, it was just they were setting up these cesspools in the elder care facilities. Were they not causing death just by doing that? Were they not?
Yeah, I mean, they were. But here's another thing that a lot of people don't understand, because they've been kicked out of these rooms, is that it was the norm. And this made me sick to my stomach. And it was the norm to just kind of let these patients die because they were going to die anyway, right? So there was a few patients that I took over care for while I was at Elmhurst. And I'm telling you, they had dried feces from at least 2 weeks all the way up their backs, their spines, in their hair, dried up.
My God.
So I am blaming a lot of these healthcare workers that have been silent and haven't said a thing and have allowed this to happen, because I got a lot of backlash from like the nurses, that my community, I guess, in healthcare, because I took away their hero status. But there is no hero status when you're just letting people die. And like the same thing is happening in the nursing homes when they were putting all these patients there. can you imagine? You think that even on a good day in a nursing home, it's a bad day. They're not getting the proper care. I mean, our healthcare industry needs a complete revamping. It needs to be looked into thoroughly. And I'm on a mission to be able to get that done. But they're letting them die. And I got a message yesterday from another nurse that's like, I don't even want to be a nurse anymore because what I'm witnessing is literally murder. It's still happening to this day.
To this
And
day,
that's
really.
terrifying.
Are whistleblowers scared to come forward? So you're getting quote unquote intel that this stuff is still going. It's still going on.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, there's a lot more nurses. So since I've talked to you, we've formed globalfrontlinenurses.com, and it's nurse whistleblowers from all over the world, and we're uniting. There's a back door that people can sign into and submit evidence. And we're going to just blow the top off of this because it's not just here in the United States. The United States is definitely the leader of this, but it's happening all over the world, you know, and you know, it really does need to be exposed, and a lot of people need to be held accountable. But my mission is to make sure that Cuomo is held accountable, because personally, like, that's my,
Yeah, you know,
that's what I